Afternoon, everyone. This is Matt over at milestonecapitalgrowthportfolio.com. Today is Wednesday, March 9th. Well, we had our gap down, we had our gap up this morning, we pulled back down, then we went back up, and we took a left and we took a right and did absolutely nothing all day long. But I did manage to get in 9 holes of golf today. It was an absolutely beautiful day up here in Rhode Island. So let's take a look at the market. We also made several beautiful trades before I left today and have a couple of the positions still. So if you want to follow us on my trades, make sure you click on the video link, okay, for WhatsApp, and you can follow us on WhatsApp. All right, and you'll get my trade alerts every single day. All right, let's take a look at SPY here. Why? Because SPY is thinking about what's next. We have Mario tomorrow morning from the ECB. Last time he disappointed. This time I don't think they're going to allow him to disappoint, so something might happen. But market conditions are going to be very important for us to understand at this point because something is going to happen. So we're going to look at multiple time frames here on SPY. And you're going to see here that we have a trend line right here off these lower wicks and this wick right here. And there it is right there. Okay, and we pretty much, let's see if I can, I think it's a little bit lower. I hate to be too. All right, so we pretty much held it again today. Okay, so we did not break it, and then you can see our slow stow is still coming. It just turned to the upside, and your RSI kicked a little bit to the upside too. It's still at 62.66. That's at the 10. Most people use the 14, so we'll slap that up there real quick. And the 14's at 59.97. So there's plenty of room for more upside if this channel holds true. But we did have this double top, and we have a downtrend line, okay? And we're going to take a look at that in some lower time frames just because it's easier to analyze, okay? So we're going to drop this down to an hourly now and get a little more detail what's going on here. You can see on the hourly here today, you pretty much, after we came back down, we just channeled slowly. This middle Bollinger Band's been a bugger. We won't know until tomorrow if we're going to break it, but the history repeats itself from the trade zones that I always follow, okay? I always go, pretty much from upper to lower on full extensions, okay? If it doesn't get through the Bollinger Band, then it comes right back down to the lower Bollinger Band, makes a new low. You can see the pattern that we had in place before is this one here. You have the downtrend line. Actually, let's see, put that there. Let's get rid of this for a second. So in the shorter term view here, you could see we had this downtrend line right here. So you have these two. You made a new low right here. Couldn't get through the middle Bollinger Band, but then after we came back in and we held the 50 and we held the 50 and we held the 50, that's getting very interesting. So there's two things that are taking place right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. They're trying to reverse it to the upside for sure. Because you could see instead of making a new low here and coming down and hitting this, it held the 50, came up to the middle Bollinger Band, and then just got tighter and tighter as the day went on. So nothing spectacular took place. So really what you're looking at is this right here is your trade zone right now. We'll even drop it down to this one and go like that because we did hit that. So your 50 is pretty much holding in place right now. So this directional that's heading down is still in a down pattern. We didn't break the middle Bollinger Band yet on the hourly. Once we break that, if we break that, then we're going to get a little bit bullish. So at the same time, what you have is pretty much a downtrend line. There's your fast trend line to the downside right there, because these are your candles. This was your top wick here, and it's just not breaking through. So it's really tight. So that's why you're meeting that resistance. But if you want to stretch it out a little bit longer, there's a couple ways we can do it here, just so you know. We have this wick here, and then we have this wick here, because that wick was the highest, that wick was the highest, and that's pretty much the next trend line, okay? And something that I need you to understand is I track all gaps, and it's very important to keep an eye on the gaps. And we do have this gap right here, okay? Nothing was traded here. This candle didn't come up and get it. This candle didn't come up and get it. So I assume that this candle could if we get good news tomorrow, we could start pushing to the upside and close this gap and also hit this trend line, which would reset this RSI, and bring your hourly RSI to the top. So we do have a very good chance right now to come up and get these two areas right here. And I think after we hit this area, we're going to start blasting to the downside. I don't think we have any real power to the upside at this point. So not sure what it's going to be. That's going to be the trigger. But we do have this 194 gap and lower. We also have this upper gap over here at 203.84. Okay, we still have this one gap remaining. And you know, we got this first one here, which was a little bit higher. It was right there. We closed that one, but we didn't close this one. So, you know, right now we're pretty much in a uptrend until we're not. Okay, we are trying to create a downtrend at the same time, but the bears are trying to recover. So I think Mario is going to be very important tomorrow, and jobs. You can see on the daily we're pretty much just in a box trade, which is pretty 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 much not doing anything. And when I say the box trade, let's see, I'll put this over here on my candles chart so you can see it a little bit better. Yeah, so you can see here this a little bit different perspective. Here's our down channel right now, and here's them trying to recover it. Okay, so if we break this, I would expect this to start coming up into these areas over here to test them. If we don't break it and we break this, know that we're coming down here because that's the next support level. Okay, so tomorrow morning is really important. This is an hourly chart if you want to track it by yourself. And I have all these lines drawn up. So if you look at the daily, you can see it's just a simple box at this point, and it gave up this double top right here with the second candle with a new low. So this trade channel is, I mean this consolidation box right now is pretty much set like this with lower gaps down here at 187 and lower. So keep an eye on this. You know, we have this downtrend channel right here. I do think we're going to get one more pop tomorrow, and I think that's going to start giving it up right shortly after that. And this is the daily that I'm on right now, and you can see this candle made a new low, and you have another one over here. So here's that gap. There's a 203.76. That's the only upper gap that's left. The reason why this stopped, we could see this on a weekly, and you might be able to see it on a daily. Now I'll put it on the weekly chart. You'll be able to see it a little bit better with this trend line. The fast trend line, put the brakes on it right here. You can see how this wick here, that wick there, and that wick there has stopped it. So I mean, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 beautiful weeks here. So it's just a matter of time before they snap this down. They could, if they close the week over this, then we're going to be going higher and probably test these other levels up here. But typically, when you get a big move like this, you're going to need some reset to the downside. So we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. We have that resistance. You know, that on the second week today, this was the highest. Well, this week, the highest was at that downtrend trend line. So keep an eye on this because I think it's going to epically fail, but for now I do see this consolidation box holding in place. So I want to take a look at one other one real quick because it looks great. PCLN. I'm going to start on this chart. You can see the weekly here is doing a great job looking for this double top right here at 1305 in that area. But I want you to be aware of something that's really important on this because it did get an upgrade yesterday. But remember, it's going to move with the market. But we do have the 1431 gap in that area that needs to be filled. And any breakout over these candles here, we definitely could make a moonshot towards PCLN. I did alert a trade on that this morning. We are, I think we closed a little over 100% on those for now. But if we drop this down to a lower time frame, we come down to the daily, some important, whoops, where'd it go? Okay, you can see it's just tight consolidation, and this is not normal for PCLN, but it is staging to the upside, not the downside. You can see this is low, this is a higher low, and this is a higher low. So if we break out of this, they could be coming up to get this gap. If not, we're gonna head to the downside and come get some of these gaps. Usually after earnings, it'll start to trickle off, and it will depend on what's next. Okay, so a couple important trend lines I want you to keep an eye on here. So the first one is off of this candle and this candle. It did break that. That would be a trend line break. Okay, and then I'm going to use this wick right here and this wick right here, okay, this one here, because that's your high, and you also broke the trend line here, which is very important. So you have a great move today. This is the hourly chart, by the way. I'm sorry. Great move today, and it closed above the trend line, which is really important. So this 1305 could be pretty easy to get that. Watching your relative strength index on the daily, very important here. You're up at right around 65. You do have room to come up and get this 1306 to create this double top up here, or triple top in that area, and then it should pull back down again. But you can see, it's basically just consolidating. Here's that gap right here. Here's your lower Bollinger Band here. But look at your slow stow is starting to creep up to the upside, so they could actually blast this a little bit higher. Looking at lower time frames, which is very important. Your relative strength index is only at 54, so it's made half of its move. Okay, and they could push it this Bollinger Band before a break to come to the downside. So based on this, we look like we're going to get our 1306, maybe a little bit more, depending on how they want to push this, and it'll set us up perfect for a Friday drop. On Fridays, most of the people know that I do some epic trading with PCLN, get some massive gains. So make sure you join me on WhatsApp. Just click on the link in the video. We get, we're filling up quick. We have about 70 people now, 75 people that are following, and they're doing really well. The alerts are just fantastic, so make sure you join up. It looks good. PCLN breaking out, and we have others too that we've alerted and have traded, that I trade, and they have done very well. So we will see you on the other side of this video. Make sure you join WhatsApp and have some fun with us today. All right, this is Matt over at Milestone Capital Growth Portfolio. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll see you in live chat. It's free. Just join us at Milestone.